Anano, ye kuma brante bi ya fa ne phone.
Share breaking news. Yemoshi na yankoji kasa na muchirimu emfri yaso ye omra na edin ebeda bontin na omo kire se omo de frɛ eye onua branti ya oye businessman na oye Nigerian ni ene Ben Peterson na omo kira eche se ne jepadie bi anamaka se ne dan ewo eye bia bi a ewo Accra ne monten so na onua branti ntiremu kire se ono ena enam no so na eye COVID-19 by Sikabia His Excellency, the former president, Nana Akufo-Addo. We sa mfanse papa na odi mutintima was COVID time no pa. Na omuchira abrante Nigerian ya oye businessman no omuchira je say ono abomodin ate a police for another security personnel na wo ye wo wabati obi man so den na wutumi nya akwanya lances na nkrata wo na omuchira wo sanso guta police moto yibi ene nyoma bi ekeka ho a meno ka se de omache nipa maako 25 eka sa papa ya we Nigerian ya ni din e beda abonten adodo na e de frɛ no ene Ben Peterson orofo nya ho abotre na yembohwi na yenkoti asem no nkyiremu ankasa ye wi a ne ye papa Steven Adom twedi ono so na no kasa wade abefa kasa bi a ekoso mpempren e wo Ghana ne monte so na wo so wo de wadwen kyerɛ wade fa comment section ho na wade aba mesre so be me like button so wa share dwumadie no na average afoforo yenkomra.
Awusia ya Ghana TV penchen and I said the ekosu yi a Nigerian businessman bia or Ghana a friend Ben Peters ono ana omokochi na aye gidigidi o ene na okọ blockade estate bia o chese ne dan e wo sa estate ho sa estate no e Ben Jubilee House Aurora apartment e wo Kanda eno na estate okọ blockade ye estate honom no Mr. Ibrahim Mahama omo chese ne dan e wo hobi Spanish ambassador enso so ne dan e wo hobi a chese papa blockade estate within 3 hours omugina ho chese Spanish ambassador is obonani ni su officer onya kwan no akọ na apartment mu chese akugu danfo ene ti sa ebiaye ho ene okọ block ye nyina ne se sa estate no ne dan e wo ho ye makmako 8 a dan no ohia ho keys a omo develop sa estate e trazakofo omo amfa keys ni man na so block sa biaye no na no na national security etiye na police for tiye omo ko ho chese gidi ne mema ne omo ho be 60 ya chimu 25 na ne car so national security for FI mo chese cars ni bi wo no ma police badge ni siren ni no ma bobọ ho a omo nim ba bi okonya asa na omo ni free ye na reporter na esa etwagu say Mr. Ibrahim Mahama ene baaye ema national security etimi eche Nigerian man ya efe no Ben Peters fi se no de ho asie wo dan ba akumu na so Deputy Director of Operations Mustafa Gbandi HSN no kre national security for na che papa no che ne nkofo bi eka ho SRCZ ne car eno nti yenko tie Mustafa Gbandi emra.
Why is this Nigerian businessman Ben Peters under arrest?
So good afternoon and good afternoon to our cherished listeners and my brother at the other side. What's happening is that this morning around 9 a.m. We received a distress call from the apartment, which is about 800 meters from the Jubilee House, Nora apartment, you know, the 37 vicinity where the Ghana Water Company is.
Right.
We dispatched police officers to go there and only to receive a report that there are a couple of young men dressed in black suit, armed to the teeth, have blocked the entrance of the apartment with about 20 vehicles. They won't allow anybody to go in. They won't allow anybody to come out. So I actually followed up myself. They would not budge. And all of it was at the command of businessman Benedict Peters, who claimed that the apartment, the residence is owned by Sasako, and that they have failed to give him multiple keys to a number of apartments numbering up to about 8 he owns on that building.
Right.
That is why he has blocked the place. So we ransacked all the boys, picked them up. We requested that since he has blocked, roadblock is a crime.
Right.
The police should take him to the police station. He refused. We're told that anybody who comes up, he will fire a weapon. And so we called for reinforcement. We managed to arrest him, and he's been sent to police regional CID for further interrogation. This same individual, we found him owning a number of individuals in this country.
Right.
He owned a number of pickups with floodlights, sirens, and all of that. He's running a team of security individuals. And you also know that you cannot run a security organization in this country if you are not permitted by the Minister of Interior.
Right.
And then we found in his possession a number of SUVs unregistered, numbering about 20, Escalade vehicles, very expensive, high-class vehicles, and a police motorcade, of which a number plate was not on it. All of these evidences have been given to the police for further interrogation.
So let's start one by one. So first of all, you encountered some men dressed in black holding weapons. Are they state security officials, private individuals?
These guys were not on our interrogation, are not state officials. They are Benedict Peter's personal security guards.
And they are holding weapons?
These were concealed threats. I have not seen a gun, but they told the officers that if they came in, they were going to fire. And that was what caught our attention. And this was just in close proximity with the Jubilee House. And so we went there, and truly the guys were there, numbering about 60 to 70 of them. I mean, the whole place was flooded by his boys, all dressed in coat, black suit, and white inner shirt, with police pickups yielding sirens and floodlights. And that is when our worry became very intensified. And truly we found a number of things, under under park of the building where they park the vehicles, including the motorcade. And I was wondering why a private individual would be this powerful in our country, rubbish our laws, does what they want, render citizens helpless, and actually keep them at rampage. It's unlawful. And so he's been handed over to the police for further interrogation.
What about the men you met holding weapons?
We've ransacked all of them.
So they also arrested as well?
Yes, we ransacked all of them. Okay. They were arrested.
So apart from the vehicles you found in the premises, you say he was also keeping certain items. Which other items did you uncover?
Apart from the vehicles in the compound, we found a number of SUVs, sophisticated SUVs, without number plates, unregistered vehicles, and then a police motorcade. So all of these will be investigated by the police. Why a motorcade was parked at that residence, at that garage.
And are you able to tell whether a police officer was involved since you came across a police motorcade?
We did not find a police officer or any regular or official officer in this matter. They were all private young men. His own built-up army of young men. He equipped them with vehicles. The vehicles all have floodlights and sirens. And so that was surprising. And I'm wondering if he runs a private security company. Even if you do, would you have the right to deploy such young men to, block a road, block an entire building at the expense of other Ghanaians and diplomats who live in that particular building, only because the owners or the managers of the residents have not given you keys? And that is all it is, keys. And so we have asked the police to invite the managers or the owners of the residence for investigation to ascertain why we got to this level of disruption.
All right. So you know how many people have been arrested?
A number of them, about 20 of them or 25 of them. Benedict Peters himself and another white man who we found in his room, his apartment. When we got there, we were able to get into the apartment.
Okay.
All of them have been taken to the regional police.
This Ben Peters, do you know his occupation, what exactly he's doing in Ghana?
Allegedly, this is the man that President Akufo-Addo used to run the COVID deal. You remember the man who ran the office, the COVID infrastructure?
Yes.
That is Benedict Peters. Yes, that is Benedict Peters. So a number of these cases are already pending, only for him to, out of impunity, get to this level. And I think that we shouldn't run a country where foreigners take all of us for granted. And you can hold a whole infrastructure of residents to ransom only because you label yourself a big man. This is not Akufo-Addo's regime. This is a new regime where the law will work. Number one, as a private individual, you do not have the right to run an organized police or an organized security group without approval from state security. Also because you are a foreigner. Number two, you do not have the right to run vehicles with sirens and police floodlights on them. Number three, you don't have the right to roadblock, deny access to an apartment when you know that it's a commercial place and it is not the case that you are the only individual living there, but many other people, including diplomats. In fact, the husband of the Spanish ambassador was almost crying. All of them cannot go into their house, and that happened close to 3 hours. You know.
But Mustafa, this clearly falls in the region of a civil matter between occupants of an estate and somebody who claims to also own part of the estate. And I'm wondering why a whole national security will get involved, and then with people like yourself, leaving the Jubilee House to get involved. The police could have easily handled this matter.
National security came subsequently. I was there myself. National security came subsequently. Initially, a team of police officers were deployed to the place. When they met the huge number of his bodyguards or his security team, they called for reinforcement. Reinforcement came from Greater Accra. And then Benedict Peter was hiding in one of the apartments. He would never come out. So they had to search for him. And so reinforcement came. By the time National Security got there, he was arrested and taken away. So National Security would then come and, impound all the vehicles we've seen there and do some investigation also to ascertain whether or not there are documents to it, tax have been paid and all of that. And so to the extent that you have a private matter with other people, it's not enough to roadblock access to other citizens to an apartment. Number two, it is not enough to raise a team or an army of a security team without lawfully being licensed or permitted by the state. You are aware that even in our own country, you cannot run sirens as private individuals.
Right.
So how is it the case that you have all these sirens to the extent of a motorcade in your apartment?
So the media reports also suggest that Mr. Peters went into hiding and refused arrest until the president's brother, Ibrahim Mahama, showed up at the scene.
That is not true. He refused arrest. He went into hiding. We looked for him, found him, brought him down before Mr. Ibrahim Mahama arrived. He was also alarmed when he heard of the disruptions going on because he's a resident. Mr. Ibrahim Mahama didn't come there estate. To... Say that again.
Mr. Ibrahim Mahama is a resident of this estate.
Yes. Oh. And so when I also spoke, a couple of individuals also called me because they heard I was there to find out what was going on, only to hear the story. And all of them are unfounded.
So it's not the case that Mr. Ibrahim Mahama presence got him to leave his hiding place and then subsequently he was arrested?
Well, at the end of the day, the suspect is arrested. The police managed to arrest him. We got him, we brought him down, and then subsequently he was taken to regional police. In fact, the regional police commander also arrived even after the men had been able to successfully arrest him. Okay. There was no abuse. There was no any differences. Respectfully, we arrested him. I told him that, look, you have to hand yourself over to the police, go with them and make a statement, and then the police will take over from there. At the end of the day, he knows he's broken the law.
Final question will be, you say that this is the same person you've been looking for until this matter came up this morning. Is he also involved in other cases of national interest?
No, I'm just saying that this is a man who, have, in collusion with President Akufo-Addo and his people, squandered COVID money. You are aware. All of us have been aware. Frontiers, the popular Frontiers matter, is Benedict Peters. And so that same impunity would be what will lead to the extent that you can run an institution as if you are a president in another man's country. You build an army without authorization. So we sit here and people breed terrorists and terrorism with their, privately acquired wealth to undermine our national security interests and do what exactly they want to do without respect to our laws.
All right.
He cannot do this in Nigeria.
All right.
He can't.
So now this
Benedict can't do this in Nigeria.
So now this is a matter for the police to continue with an investigation and possibly.
It's a clear matter for the police to deal with. National security would also have to collaborate with other security agencies to impound all the other vehicles that were seen for further investigation to ascertain whether they came into the country legitimately and that the taxes have been paid or not. All these things will have to be done.
All right.
What sacrifice in the pekra because of phone? Kose.
Yes, amen.
Wa udi onipa da sene ebefa kwan bone so ebetumi afma na hwere ne kra because of uyi di a wo penti. Kose wo said ba memese kose. Wa unim se aya bosom have to do with souls. Anuntina akeka wo ho. Now do tia kwashase e de pe okra nkwa Bible ana enkoso ana yedie wo mese kose.
Amen.
Asamo mechero mo achire.
Yes.
Occultism. Why wouldn't say it have to do with familiar spirits and demons? I mean, you now comprise here your souls of human being. Now, what do you tell for shame? Say, open defense from occult powers. Now, what do you for prosperity? Me say, wo kose.
Amen.
Sorry.
Yes.
Dear Wafa, Onipapia, Okra, and say you, Okra, and Rada, or Honam Diana Hono, Ebeka. Now you are now going to live forever. The Hona will be Hundia Woho. Okrano, and Yajane dia, and Rada, and Nuntina, Ebel, Akra Suyan. And to me, to adafo, what the mahonam way and that down. Now, we have one hamne dear, who be no dear cover when him. So, was sister Nipo baby quadano na betiasia yipa. Only panicra. A batanasia could see Debbie. Mestre, Obia Nemodano, Sadano, and a hellfire. Yami baby, sir, a subontine ya hell in no one. And Okrano and the bronsam will be destroyed on one day. And Nasadano and Yen and Yochina. And to Okra, Obetra Seda, now be Hudia Woho. And did not debut members of the war. And how will be Hudia Woho? Unim dia Woho.
Amen.
Odafo, Yawa one man you see one more Bible. One may woo at of one in echo heaven. Identify say, not one tea. Wonyame somumu ana wonhia won akwanhia Mr. David entra me ka kire mo no eda me wu mekra